This is a Pele Media podcast.
Welcome back to Goonies Minute, everybody. Goonies Minute is the fan podcast where we carefully explore the movie Goonies minute by minute. This is Brady.
And this is Chris.
And we are here to bring you minute number 51 today. Chris, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Just coming off of a wild weekend.
Yeah.
Mardi Gras down here, down in Louisiana.
Big weekend here in Baton Rouge coming up, the Spanish Town Mardi Gras Parade.
That's right.
It's one of the things that this city does pretty well,
That's
although
right.
sometimes it can be controversial with some of the things. But we don't want to get into all that.
No,
Do you
no,
plan
no.
on going out there this weekend?
I'm going to try, yeah, for sure. That's Baton Rouge's kind of signature Mardi Gras parade. For anybody who's not local, here in Louisiana, Mardi Gras is just such a huge holiday. It was created in New Orleans, if I'm not mistaken.
We think.
And we think. It's debatable. And Baton Rouge, about 60 miles from New Orleans, we have our own big parade that goes down every year, and that's in Spanish Town, the historic district of Baton Rouge. And it's a whole lot of fun.
Yeah,
lot of fun.
I rode in a float a few years, and that's a tremendous amount of entertainment for all.
Being on the float.
And it kills a lot of brain cells with the amount of alcohol that sometimes can be consumed, but it is a lot of fun. But I will be just a parade watcher this weekend like last year, but I've enjoyed that also. And
Yeah.
So looking forward to that, but guess what else I'm looking forward to?
Getting into the minute?
Let's get into the minute.
Let's do it. In the previous minute, we saw the Goonies concoct a plan that they thought would most certainly save themselves. By banging on water pipes underground, they would catch the attention of someone above ground. What they were really doing was causing complete chaos at the Astoria Country Club. At 51 minutes, we see Troy enter a bathroom stall. The pipes underground all begin to shake underneath the immense pressure. Mouth screams for everyone to duck for cover. We cut to Troy. The water pressure sends him flying through the air. Each of the Goonies simultaneously scream to get out. The water pipes burst under the pressure and begin to shoot water all across the room. The pressure from one of the pipes is so strong that it knocks a hole into the wall, allowing the Goonies to safely make their way through. As the minute ends, we see Ma Fratelli starting up a blender. She is going to get the answers she wants from Chunk, one way or another. And thus ends minute 51 of the Goonies. All right, so in this minute, we see the Goonies doing a little more harm than good. In the last minute, their plan was to start banging on all the water pipes and then, hopefully get the attention of people above ground and investigate it and find them underground. So the plan does not work out. And Mouth, who was the person who sort of gave the idea to start moving, to disrupt the pipes, to get people's attention above ground, is the one who finally realizes there's a surge pressure now because of them. And not only is all the water just going to blow underground, but above ground as well. And
it almost reminded me of the situation in Ghostbusters. I mean, I guess it's a little bit related, maybe not. Maybe you don't think it's related at all. Of when when Ray
Ghostbusters
in the beginning,
2.
No.
In part 1.
I'm
Okay.
thinking part 1, and there might be something too, but that's not what I'm thinking about right now. But in part 1, when Ray says "get her," okay,
Yeah,
real
okay.
scientific,
Yeah.
and it kind of reminded me of here is Mouth supposedly has more knowledge of these pipes than the average person because of his dad, so he just starts to bang a bunch of pipes. It's not perfectly related, but you know what I'm saying. The thought process there.
Yeah.
That here he's just banging a bunch of pipes, and then you have a crazy disaster. What were you thinking about at Ghostbusters 2?
Okay, when Ray has to go down into the tunnel underground and he causes a power outage.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's actually more related. Actually, with the result is more related.
That's true.
But the thought process, I'm thinking back to Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I can see that. So, hey.
But yeah, it doesn't work. It's a complete disaster. I don't know why they thought that was going to work. It's absolutely ridiculous, but it added to one of the funnier scenes.
There's a very Goonies moment that happens because of it, and it's when they all individually say, "Let's get out of here," and Steph says, "Like now." Is she saying "like now" or "right now"? I thought she was saying "like."
I thought it was a like.
I think so. But the fact that they're each saying them one by one, just, I don't know, it's...
Well, yeah, it's interesting when they literally go to each one of them.
Yeah.
And they show each of their faces before we have that little explosion and that horrible noise of the pipes. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, it definitely is. And then, we see all the havoc above ground, and we got to ask the question. We got to ask the obvious question. For anybody who's ever watched this movie, I don't, care who you are.
It's the most grossly
obvious,
amateur, poor
yes.
filmmaking thing that one of the worst I've ever seen.
I know, from arguably the best filmmakers of all time.
And if you're worried about not showing the man completely naked, there's ways you can do it.
There's ways around it.
But it really looks stupid when a man is
forgets to take his
taking
underwear
a crap
off.
And you see his underwear on sitting on the toilet.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't do that.
No, they.
I mean, this is not.
No, it's. I'll give him this. I mean, for a man who seems very color coordinated in his attire.
Yeah, what was up with the red?
The red, well, he's tracksuit. And he's there at the country club, probably working out.
An 80s tracksuit.
But yeah, exactly. But then he was like, you know what? Red pants, red shirt, not enough today. I'm going with red underwear as well.
The tidy reddies.
The tidy reddies. And yeah, I mean it's so obvious, and it's like even the fact that it's the color red just stands out even more. And I'm like, guys, come on, man.
Okay, I got another question.
What?
First of all,
what are we doing? Looking at the. No, that's not your question. Okay.
No. How much pressure would have to come out of that toilet
yes.
to throw him into the air and to hit his head and break the ceiling? Okay,
yeah.
Let me tell you this. Do you understand if that much water pressure was coming out of that toilet, he probably would have been sterile for life or maybe burnt or dead.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
then his head, maybe that would have been a concussion.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't look like the types of ceiling.
The ceiling tile.
It didn't look like the tile. It looked like a regular ceiling.
Solid roof, yeah.
I mean, concussion, spinal injury.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have any of those. So, I mean, he was blasted in the rear. I mean, that would have caused damage.
There's some serious damage.
Because it's not like the water pressure was coming. It's not like it was coming from a wide area.
Yeah.
It was directly, think about the size of the hole of a toilet.
Yeah.
Coming out of there, something that small, that would have pierced him.
Yeah. He would have been dead.
And then the fact that it was so perfectly equal or symmetric to where he didn't fall to one side.
Yeah.
Like it was just the perfect storm from below. To be able to do that. So there's a whole lot of screw up in that.
There really is.
It's funny, but it's
funny.
really dumb.
It's funny, but it's dumber than this movie.
It's dumber than in the movie.
This movie, the humor in it is actually pretty, I would say, highbrow. And it's a movie about little kids, so you would think that a lot of the humor.
This is Animal House.
This is Animal House.
This is Revenge of the Nerds.
Revenge of the Nerds. And this movie and the caliber of people behind the movie, I wouldn't expect them to involve this type of humor, and they do, and it's just totally, it just doesn't work.
Almost
it's not their field. So.
It's almost like they did the final edits, and then somebody went and headed this in without them telling them. You know,
like the day before the premiere.
Yeah, it's almost like the top of his head should have been shown, but not the bottom.
Yeah,
but
just follow him all the way up, and we get the idea. Yes, and we.
I just can't get. I wish I would
the
love
camera,
to know.
So,
and I can't believe I haven't looked. I have not Googled like other people's reactions to this.
Yeah, you think
but
we
I'd
would
like
have.
to get them. You know?
I mean, think about it. The camera stays on the ground. We get a close up of his feet, and we see the toilet. You know, all of the water
That's
go
all
up,
it would have taken.
and then like 2 or 3 seconds later, he hits the ground and screams,
Right.
and then we get the implication that he was in the air for a long time, and you're, I don't know.
He would have been hurt pretty bad, but then again, a guy flew off of a cliff and didn't have a scratch.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, do you like how he yelled, "Daddy"?
Oh man, have you ever seen UHF? With Weird Al Yankovic?
I have.
Oh, I love it. That is a movie that is, I'm sure I've made that point before in the show, a movie that is primed for a minute-by-minute breakdown.
I love that movie.
It's so
I
good.
remember I got it on the old Cablevision, the pay-per-view they used to have where you would have to call in.
Oh, yeah.
When it first came out.
Pay-per-view, yeah.
Yeah, the old pay-per-view.
So I bring that up because there's this character in it who's just, a real wuss. And then right at the very end, his dad owns the competing television company. And right at the end, the guy falls in some mud and says, "Dad." And so it just reminded me of this kind of grown man who, can't fend for himself.
And it's classic for Troy because Troy's trying to be such a badass.
Yeah.
He acts like he's a bully.
Yeah.
But if it ever got to the point where something serious happened, he's going to cower.
Yeah.
If someone stands up to him, he's going to cower.
Well, this isn't the last time that we see him get his own.
I'm telling you.
So, a couple more times. But anyway, all that aside, the next note that I have is right as the minute ends, we cut to Chunk's current state, and that is a scene that in a movie that is already quite gruesome is just almost beyond gruesome. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get into it for real in the next minute.
Could have been more gruesome if they
went
through with it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, one more thing.
Yes, sir.
After the explosion in the bathroom, then more water continues to just spray everywhere, and it knocks through that wall. I thought that was kind of
that is kind of cool. So, we say they were doing more harm than good, but I guess inadvertently they're doing more good because they're able to use the water pressure to spray through the wall and into another cave.
Right.
And that is just going to lead us closer and closer to One-Eyed Willie's treasure.
And it's one more of the theme that even though Chunk's not around doing it, this is the first time Chunk wasn't there when a quote-unquote screw-up led to the next part that had to happen to be able to get to where they needed to be.
Huh. Very
so
true.
It is interesting with that Mouth was the one that did this one.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
Because all the other ones, Chunk was around where he did something, he screwed something up, but it led to something.
Yeah. I didn't think about that.
So, but that's all I have for this minute.
That's
Brady.
all I've got as well. So everybody, thanks for joining us for minute number 51. Tomorrow we will be back for minute number 52. So until then, this is Brady.
This is Chris.
And we're here to remind you that Goonies never say die. Goonies Minute is a fan-supported podcast. If you like the show, then leave us a review on iTunes. You can find us at GooniesMinute.com, Facebook.com/GooniesMinute, Twitter.com/GooniesMinute, and at Instagram @GooniesMinute. You can contact us at GooniesMinute@gmail.com. You've been listening to a Pele Media podcast. For premium content and exclusive podcasts, visit us at Patreon.com/Pele Media. Check us out on Facebook at Facebook.com/Pele Media and follow us on Twitter at Twitter.com/Pele Media.